My sister-in-law loves playing pranks. She used AI-generated photos claiming a homeless man broke into our house. My husband saw it and panicked, rushing home by car. He ended up speeding, lost control, crashed into a guardrail, and died on the spot. Even after that, my sister-in-law showed no remorse. On the night of the funeral, she stole my husband's phone and used voice software to mimic his voice, calling me. I was so terrified I fell down the stairs, losing my 4-month-old baby. When my parents demanded justice, she said carelessly, "Who knew she'd get that scared hearing my brother's voice? Maybe she did something to betray him?" My mother-in-law immediately believed I was carrying someone else's child. She not only spread rumors about my infidelity but also took away the inheritance my husband left me. I died from depression and anger. When I opened my eyes again, I was back before my husband's death. I opened my phone. In the family group chat, Emma had just sent voice messages and photos. Staring at that AI-generated homeless man photo, I was instantly furious. In my past life, this fake photo killed my husband. Since my pregnancy, my husband had cancelled most work to stay with me. Today he had an important foreign client meeting he had to attend personally. Worried about leaving me alone, he asked his college-age sister Emma to keep me company. But this decision cost him his life. In the group chat, Emma kept sending messages. She sent panicked voice messages while posting AI-generated photos of a homeless man holding me captive. My husband quickly replied, "Emma, don't let him hurt Sarah. I'm coming home right now." Hearing his familiar voice, tears streamed down my face. David and I were college sweethearts, whether dating or married. He cherished me deeply, never wanting me to suffer. That's exactly why this usually calm and steady man would speed home worried about my safety, ultimately crashing into the guardrail. Even as he was dying, he kept calling me persistently, but we didn't know Emma had silenced my phone. She had prepared thoroughly for this prank. Remembering everything from my past life, hatred surged in my heart. "You love pranks, right? This time, I'll make Emma taste her own medicine and truly experience the fun of pranking." I immediately called my husband. "Honey, don't be scared, I've already notified building security, hide somewhere safe." My husband's anxious voice came through. I quickly stopped him. "Don't drive, there's no homeless man at all." What? To convince him, I switched to video call and showed him our empty bedroom, only. After confirming I was completely safe did my husband relax. "You scared me to death, I was about to speed all the way home to save you. Since you're fine, what's with the photos Emma sent?" Hearing Emma's laughter from the living room, I sneered coldly. "Of course she generated them with AI. Did you forget your sister loves playing pranks?" Concerning my safety, my husband's expression darkened immediately. "Emma crossed the line. Even if she likes practical jokes, she shouldn't joke about you and the baby. Honey, you've been wronged. I'll call her right now and teach her a lesson." Just as David was about to hang up, I suddenly had a brilliant idea. "No need." I stopped my husband. "Don't you have that client meeting? I'll handle this myself." "But you're pregnant. I'm worried about you." After my repeated assurances, my husband finally agreed. After hanging up, I immediately found someone in my contacts and sent them Emma's AI-generated homeless man photo. "Emergency, Emma says a homeless man broke into her house, come save her quickly. You love pranks, then I'll play this game with you to the very end." After everything was said I walked out of the bedroom. Emma was still curled up on the couch, fingers flying across her screen, occasionally smirking. I didn't need to look to know she was still frantically messaging my husband. When she saw me she jumped in surprise. "Sarah, weren't you taking a nap?" I looked around. With perfectly timed panic, "Emma, are you okay? I saw the photos you sent. Where's that homeless man?" Emma was clearly flustered, stammering, and pointing toward the door. "It's fine, I chased him out. He's right outside." Without hesitation, I pulled out my phone. "We need to call the police." "Don't call the police." Emma jumped up from the couch and grabbed my hand. Her face went pale with panic, seeing she couldn't keep up the lie. She reluctantly confessed. "Sarah, those photos were AI generated. There's no homeless man at all." I immediately frowned and scolded her. Emma, you're being ridiculous. Your brother has an important client meeting today. Are you deliberately trying to disrupt his work? I thought she might show some guilt, but Emma maintained her nonchalant expression. I was just helping you test whether you or work matters more to my brother. Sarah, I was doing this for your own good. I could barely breathe. Her so-called good intentions had cost me everything in my past life. Suppressing my surging hatred, I asked word by word, did you ever think about what would happen if your brother got into a car accident rushing home? I was testing whether she had any conscience left. But Emma carelessly slumped back on the couch and started a new game. Sarah, you're overthinking this. How could something bad happen so easily? Even if there was an accident, that would just be my brother's bad luck for being too anxious. What does that have to do with me? Her indifferent attitude made my blood run completely cold. Sarah, this was such a perfect opportunity to test my brother's loyalty. You better not snitch and ruin my game. I stared at her and suddenly smiled. Don't worry, I definitely won't ruin it. After all, this time, the one getting hurt definitely won't be my husband. Emma glanced at me with surprise but quickly got absorbed in her game. 20 minutes later, urgent knocking suddenly came from outside, accompanied by shouting, Emma, open the door. Are you okay? Emma jumped up from the couch, bursting into huge delight and smugness, holding her stomach and laughing hysterically. My brother actually believed it? He believed such fake photos. So stupid. Prank successful. Watching her triumphant smile, I sneered coldly inside. I walked over and yanked the door open. The person outside immediately rushed in. Where is he? Where's that old man? Seeing who it was, Emma's smile instantly froze on her face. The man standing outside the door wasn't my husband. It was Ryan. Emma's ex-boyfriend. The same boyfriend she had dumped 3 months ago after humiliating him in front of her friends and posting edited videos mocking him online. Ryan shoved past me, face pale with panic. Emma, where is he? Did he hurt you? Emma's smug expression disappeared instantly. What are you doing here? Ryan stared at her. You texted me saying a homeless man broke into the apartment and was threatening you. Emma's face turned white. I never texted. Then she stopped mid-sentence. Because she remembered. Those exact same AI photos. The exact same panicked wording. The same save me quickly message she'd sent David. I crossed my arms calmly. Oh? So fake emergency messages aren't funny anymore? Emma shot me a horrified look. You sent those to Ryan? I tilted my head innocently. You said it was just a prank. Ryan looked between us in confusion. What prank? I pulled out my phone and showed him the family group chat. The fake homeless man photos. The dramatic voice messages. Emma's laughing emojis afterward. Ryan's expression darkened more and more with every swipe. You used me too? Emma immediately grabbed his arm. It was just a joke. A joke? Ryan exploded. You know my cousin got killed during a home invasion last year. Emma froze. Apparently she hadn't even remembered that. Or maybe she simply never cared. Ryan shook her off violently. You made me run red lights driving over here. The moment those words left his mouth, Emma's face changed. Because now she understood. This was exactly what had happened to David in my previous life. Except this time, the terrified person rushing recklessly across town wasn't my husband. It was someone else. Ryan laughed bitterly. You really think everyone's life is some game, huh? Emma finally panicked. Ryan, calm down. Before she could finish, someone else stepped into the apartment. My husband. David walked in still wearing his suit from the client meeting, eyes ice cold. Emma stiffened instantly. Brother. David looked at her like he didn't recognize her anymore. I saw the messages. Emma hurried over desperately. I was just joking. Nothing even happened. David's voice was terrifyingly calm. So if I had crashed my car rushing home, would that still be funny? Emma opened her mouth. But no words came out. Because for the first time, she realized how close she had actually come to killing someone. David pulled out his phone. I've already sent screenshots of everything to Mom. Emma's confidence shattered instantly. No. Too late. Within minutes, my mother-in-law called. The moment Emma answered, furious screaming erupted through the speaker. You used fake crime photos to scare your pregnant sister-in-law? Emma tried to defend herself. But David interrupted coldly. She said if I died in a car accident, it would just be bad luck. Silence. Then came another explosion of rage from the phone. Even through the speaker, I could hear things crashing in the background. My mother-in-law adored David more than anything. The moment she realized Emma's prank could have killed him, her entire attitude changed. Get home. Now. Emma completely panicked. Brother, help me. David stepped aside. No. That single word crushed her more thoroughly than any scream could have. Things unraveled fast after that. Ryan posted screenshots online exposing Emma's prank culture. Turns out this wasn't her first time doing things like this. Former classmates began sharing stories. Fake pregnancy texts. Edited cheating screenshots. AI voice calls pretending family members were hospitalized. One girl revealed Emma once faked a suicide note as a social experiment. The backlash exploded. Her university launched an investigation for cyber harassment and misuse of AI-generated threats. Brands sponsoring her social accounts immediately dropped her. Her follower count collapsed overnight. But the worst part for Emma wasn't losing money. It was losing attention. Because people stopped finding her funny. They started finding her disturbing. Meanwhile, David quietly transferred all inheritance and insurance documents solely into my name. In my previous life, after Emma twisted the story, my mother-in-law had taken everything from me. This time, David made sure nobody could touch a single cent. One night, about 2 months later, Emma came pounding on our apartment door. When I opened it, she looked terrible. Dark circles. Messy hair. Bloodshot eyes. Sarah, please help me convince Mom and my brother. I leaned against the doorway. Convince them of what? That I didn't mean it. I stared at her for a long moment. Then smiled faintly. But you did. Emma's lips trembled. You don't understand, everyone hates me now. I looked directly into her eyes. In my last life, your prank killed my husband, your own brother. Emma frowned in confusion. What? And then your fake voice call killed my baby too. She stared at me like I was insane. Of course she didn't understand. Only I remembered that life. I stepped closer and whispered softly. You asked what bad luck had to do with you. Emma unconsciously took a step backward. This time, I said quietly, you get to find out. Then I shut the door in her face. And unlike my previous life, on the other side of that door, my husband was alive. A week later, Emma finally realized losing followers was the least of her problems. Because her future in-laws had seen everything. Ryan's screenshots had spread far beyond her university circle. Someone reposted them onto a local community page, and from there the story snowballed into one headline. Influencer uses AI crime hoax to terrorize pregnant sister-in-law. Unfortunately for Emma, her fiancé Ethan's family cared deeply about reputation. Especially his mother. The prestigious and painfully image-obsessed Vivian Carter. The moment Vivian learned Emma had become nationally mocked online, she immediately called off the engagement dinner. But Emma still believed she could salvage things. So she showed up uninvited at the Carter family estate wearing full makeup and fake tears. When the housekeeper let her inside, Vivian sat in the living room with several relatives already present. Nobody invited Emma to sit. Vivian simply placed a tablet on the coffee table. On screen was Emma's own livestream from months ago. Laughing while discussing trauma pranks. Another clip played. Emma bragging that emotionally manipulating people made relationships stronger. Then came the AI homeless man photo. The room went silent. Emma's face turned white. Vivian folded her hands elegantly. You nearly caused your own brother's death. Emma hurriedly shook her head. No, he's alive. Vivian cut her off coldly. That is because your sister-in-law stopped it. Not because you cared. Ethan finally spoke from the corner of the room. You told me Sarah exaggerated everything. Emma turned toward him desperately. She did. She's turning everyone against me. At that exact moment, another voice came from the staircase. She didn't have to. Everyone turned. It was me. Emma froze. She clearly hadn't expected Vivian to invite me there. Vivian looked toward me with surprising warmth. Sarah, please sit. Emma stared in disbelief as the woman who once would have defended family blindly now treated me with more respect than her. I sat calmly and placed a folder onto the table. Inside were printed screenshots. Not just of the homeless man prank. But years of Emma's behavior. Edited messages. Fake emergencies. Humiliating posts about friends. Private videos shared without consent. Even fake cheating allegations she'd spread about previous classmates for entertainment. Ethan slowly flipped through the pages. The more he read, the colder his expression became. You lied about your roommate stealing from you? Emma panicked. She annoyed me. Another page. You faked a pregnancy scare to keep your ex from leaving? That was different. Another page. You used AI to imitate your professor's voice? Emma looked around wildly as the room turned against her. Then Ethan quietly removed his engagement ring. The sound of metal hitting glass on the table felt deafening. Emma lunged toward him. No, Ethan, please. He stepped back immediately. I don't even know who you are anymore. That sentence shattered her composure completely. She burst into tears. But nobody comforted her. Vivian finally spoke with icy finality. The Carter family will not be associated with someone this cruel. Then she looked directly at Emma. And if you continue harassing Sarah, we will support legal action ourselves. Emma's knees nearly gave out. Because she finally understood something horrifying. The wealthy family she had bragged about marrying into now hated her more than strangers online did. But the real collapse came afterward. Vivian Carter was not a woman who tolerated embarrassment quietly. Within days, she began contacting people. Sponsors. Event organizers. Mutual business connections. Nothing illegal. Nothing defamatory. Just screenshots. Evidence. Truth. Emma's remaining sponsorships disappeared one after another. Her management agency terminated her contract. A beauty brand publicly stated they did not support digital abuse or AI-enabled harassment. Even worse, former victims began coming forward together. One girl revealed Emma had spread fake edited photos that nearly destroyed her relationship. Another admitted she needed therapy after Emma staged a fake kidnapping prank in college. The internet turned vicious. Compilation videos titled The Disturbing History of Emma Blake. Influencer or sociopath? AI pranks that went too far. Millions of views. Meanwhile, I said nothing publicly. I didn't need to. Emma destroyed herself every time she opened her mouth. Because the more she tried explaining, the worse she sounded. It was just a joke. I didn't think it was serious. They're overreacting. Every sentence made people hate her more. One evening, David came home and handed me an envelope. What's this? I asked. Cease and desist papers, he replied casually. Emma tried posting about you again. I opened it. Apparently. Emma had started claiming online that I manipulated everyone and stole her family. David laughed quietly. So my lawyer handled it. I looked at him. And your mother? A strange expression crossed his face. She told Emma if she contacted us again, she'd cut her off financially completely. I blinked. That shocked even me. David sighed and sat beside me. Mom said she finally realized something. What? She said, if you hadn't stopped me that day, she would have lost her son forever. Silence settled between us. Then he gently placed a hand over my stomach. In this life, our baby was still safe. Still alive. And Emma, the girl who treated terror like entertainment, now lived completely alone inside the ruins of the life she built herself.